have a Patreon if you want to see what I'm up to behind the scenes. Good day to you, traveller. So, like many others, I have fallen down the Baldur's Gate rabbit hole. While I was down there, I kind of got a little crush on the pale, half-elf vampire known as Astarion. For anyone who hasn't played the game or watched a playthrough, this is your only warning. I'm not focusing on the game itself, however, I will be talking about the characters, so anything else to do with that is up for discussion. When the game came out, I did see some pictures, and Astarion's face always stood out to me. But considering that when you get into the game, your options to romance are a few angry females, a goody two-shoes boy with hell's baggage, a dork who's not over his ex, and a king bear, a bear. I feel like the vampire half-elf with trauma isn't my worst option. I mean, can you blame me? Clearly, Astarion is handsome, completely charming. He knows how to talk to anyone, it seems, and and has spent the last 200 years utilizing those skills to bring pretty things back for his master, Kazador. Even with his brothers and sisters, other elves, dwarves, dragonborn, all have been changed and enslaved. Even with them, he still feels like the only person in the entire world that he can trust and depend on is himself. Bonded to his tormentor, Kazador, the vampire lord, to which Astarion owes his entire vampire life after being attacked and left for dead on the stony streets of Baldur's Gate. Looking at it like this, it's easy to say, of course I wouldn't have given Kazador permission to bite me. But would you, considering the circumstances? Bear in mind that Kazador hunts for people on the edge of death. Clearly, there were no terms and conditions read to him when this happened. Now, without the fantasy aspect of this story, I'm sure many of us can relate to a relationship or friendship where we were used or manipulated or lied to after the person appeared as someone we could trust or put our faith in. Clearly, people aren't going to show you their true colours until an amount of time has passed. To have someone betray your trust, to lie to you, acting without consideration of your feelings, or doing something knowing it will cause you harm or pain. I'm sure we've all met someone like this at some point in our life, or maybe 100 times over. But Kazador takes it to a whole new level, using his powers to trap people to his will, unable to deny him, unable to say no to his orders for eternity. Now, when it comes to Astarion, and we are getting into some plot points here, it's very easy to understand why Astarion is so power hungry. The last 200 years as a slave, waking up and owing someone eternity, to have no choice and your free will gone seems like a living hell. And it really grips you in the moments when you are on the quest with him and he is near the end, choosing between sacrificing the other spawn and being able to stand in the sunlight without fear. Because the further you get, depending on which options you choose playing the game, you soon figure out that Astarion still has pieces of him, even though he woke up without any memories, without knowing fully who he was before his 200 years in slavery. Even then, he still has glimpses of caring for others. When you meet his brother and sister in the bar in the lower city, where he used to lure people, depending on which options you chose, he might be more aggressive, or he might whisper to you after they've gone that he wasn't really going to hurt them because he knows that they have to do Kazador's bidding. Now, with that being said, he doesn't know love. He doesn't know much about his life, and including his reflection, all of that has gone. So if you choose to romance him, he is very uncomfortable about developing a relationship with you. And the funny thing is, whether you want to be friends with him or more, it seems that we all just want him to be happy, because we have all felt loneliness and unable to trust people. And considering his fun, flamboyant, rogue, charming self, just as a person, we want Astarion to have some joy in his life. So it's understandable when some people get to the end of his quest and they allow him to sacrifice the other spawn. But then that leaves the question, does he lose himself? Will he lose his personality? Will he lose that goodness in him? Will that be sacrificed too? And if he doesn't sacrifice them, if he doesn't give up the small part of this new life that he's known for 200 years, if he chooses to do the right thing, then that means that he is still a vampire and that he cannot see the sun again after this time with the worm in his head. A lot of people, guys, girls, others, them, he, she, we all seem to have some part of relatability to Astarion, because you can feel his pain, and for others it's a relatable pain to be in an intimate relationship with someone, to be used for such things, such actions, to feel that emptiness. A lot of people understand that because it does happen, whether that's in or out of a relationship. So he is consistently living a very lonely life, with or without a team of spawn that do the same job as him. That is his eternity. And the opportunity arrives that he can be free of worrying that someone is going to control him. He can choose something different. He has choice. He has the opportunity. For some people, there's an Easter egg, if you like, in the game. I've forgotten what kind of fantasy being she is. She might be a drow. However, she is in Moonrise Towers. She's in a hidden section where she offers you a unique potion that will include your blood. She will keep a portion of your blood and she will give it to you to increase an area of your skills, your strength, your power, something. But in exchange, she wants Astarion to bite her because it's something that she has dreamt of since she was a little girl. And he tells you that there's something wrong with her blood. Now, straight away, the question is, what is wrong with her blood? Will you make Astarion bite her? Or will you allow him to choose? And he will always choose no. But if you get him to do it and you're in a relationship with him, he will break up with you. He will call things off. But if you allow him to say no, he takes a quiet moment at camp to talk to you, and he thanks you for allowing him to choose, because for so many years he was a means to an end. And if you've finished his quest, Kazador says he is a means to an end, to be used physically, emotionally, doesn't matter. He is a tool for Kazador to use. So when you give him that opportunity to say if he wants to bite this woman or not, it's a big step for him. And you can give him a hug or tell him that he means a lot to you, or let him look into your mind to see it. But for him to have that choice means so much to him. And I feel for a lot of people, if we knew the end of our actions and what it would lead to with other people, I'm sure a lot of us would choose different things. But you can't control what others do, you can only control what you do. And obviously there are other companions, and I have so many thoughts on them as well. I have to say, it's an amazing game. But for me, Astarion is one of the best things in it. If you like what I create, you can find me on Patreon. I love all the support that you guys give me. Get early access, behind the scenes, so that you know what I'm doing when I'm not posting. Or subscribe and ring the bell so that you know when my next video is up. I'm also on Instagram. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys being here. I love your company.